Welcome back to The Stretch Game, the stretch between discovering deeper purpose and mastering higher productivity. I'm really excited about this week because I've had huge failures in this area in my past, and I found when I have that, I'm able to give people these tools and strategies to leap over these problems that I have had, because if I've had the failures, chances are other people have too. So we're talking about professional relationships for synergy. And whenever I first started trying to have these type of relationships, I failed miserably. It was very inorganic for me to think of starting relationships based on what other people could do for me. And so over the next 2 weeks, we're going to look at 6 concepts, these ideas that I either directly or indirectly followed that were absolutely wrong, and then we're going to look at the right thing that you do in order to go down the right path of having professional relationships. So this is part 1. I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned. Alright, so this is 6 concepts to own to make amazing professional synergistic relationships, part 1. So we're looking at these different ideas, these concepts that made me such a failure at starting professional relationships, and they're concepts that I either directly or indirectly held. We're going to look at those, and then we're also going to look at what the concept is you should hold. So the first concept is presence versus distractedness. And this is something I've really had to work on. There's a fair amount of research that says that women are able to be present much easier than men do, because if you're task oriented and you're in a conversation, you're always looking to the next thing, the next goal, the next action. And if this conversation isn't serving it that well in that moment, then sometimes it's easy to get distracted. And I've really worked on working that muscle that allows you to be in the moment, to be present, and to shut out all the superfluous. And so whenever I'm having a conversation with someone, if I'm talking to them and I am not enough to keep their attention so that they're not like looking around at what's going on behind me, that's always really irritating to me because it feels like they're not present. So number 1, when you're with someone, be in that moment, practice, grow that muscle of presence versus distractedness. One thing that I talk about in regards to this is the presence destroyer, and that is your phone. And people will use their phone, will be on their phone texting or answering calls while I'm in a meeting with them. I have a blocking mode on my phone, and you can do this for either Android or Apple. You put it on blocking mode, and then only people in your contacts that you allow through are able to get through while the phone is on blocking mode. For me, that is one person, and that is my wife. Anybody else is kept out. To me, if I'm in the moment with somebody flesh and blood who's sitting right in front of me, there's no reason why I should be taking a text. There's no reason why I should be picking up the phone. Drives me crazy when people do that. Be present in the moment and prime the pump for presence by putting your phone on silent when you're with someone. The second concept I want to talk about is personality versus profession. Now, I started this networking group several years ago that was a disaster. And the reason it was a disaster is because being goal-oriented, I picked out people, I focused on people that their professions were extremely in alignment. We were moving in the same direction, and on paper, it looks like it really should have worked well. And I find myself sitting around a boardroom table with these people thinking, I don't gel with these people, we really don't connect, I really don't know what I'm doing here. And so because of on paper, it should have worked, we allowed it to limp along until finally we had to shoot it like a lame animal. It was awful, and it was all because then I chose profession over personality. What a concept to think of taking the same ideas that you would in your everyday life for choosing friends and for looking for friends, who do you relate well to? Okay, what type of personality are you attracted to? You look for that first, because not only is that connection going to be real and authentic, it's also going to be much more enjoyable than what can I do for you and what can you do for me. So personality over profession. Number 3, adding versus asking. When you go into a situation where you're looking for what somebody can do for you, you're already approaching it from the wrong state of mind. It might be nice to think, okay, this person could be helpful to me, but the first question we need to ask ourselves, and the first question I ask myself, is how can I add value for this person in the most efficient way? And if that immediately comes to me, like if that comes to me fairly quickly, how I can add value to that person's life, that becomes a good indicator that I'm going to be able to have a good relationship with this person. And whenever you're able to add value to someone's life, they have the natural desire to want to add to yours. There's a great story by a guy by the name of Jeff Walker. And if you're not in internet marketing, Jeff Walker is one of the original OGs of internet marketing. And he tells this story before he was really in that space, that he was delivering a financial newsletter by email. And so he was giving this newsletter out to his friends and family and delivering huge value. This was the huge value add for them. And when it came time for him to ask for something, he couldn't do it because of the type of personality that he has. He has a very contributory heart and a very good nature. And so he just did not want to ask for something. So he continued to send the newsletter. He continued to add value. And what happened is reciprocity kept building up, right? These people wanted to give back because that's human nature. When somebody gives to you, you want to give back to them. And so it's very organic to say, how can I add value to you before asking for something? And then that comes naturally when you add value to others. So number 3, add value versus asking for things. That's the first 3 for this week. And if you follow these simple rules, they will help you to not only be able to develop and foster these professional friendships, but also they'll give you much more fulfillment because you'll be doing it in a contributory way. And these are the kind of professional friendships that might take a little bit longer, but they are on a foundation that lasts. Next week, we will go over the next 3, and you'll have all 6 for a really well-rounded way to execute starting these professional friendships for Synergy. Have a great day today, and remember, whatever you do with it, it is a gift. So do 2 things with it. Be both purposeful and productive. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week. Did you like this video? Would you like to make it a part of your daily life? If so, go to thestretchgame.com and download the blueprint. There you'll really get the meat of what was discussed today because I throw a lot of content at you all at once. But more importantly, you will get your 7-day challenge. Now, this is the part that makes you a doer, not just a hearer. It allows you to really apply what you've learned to your life and be able to grow, be able to discover deeper purpose and master higher productivity. Also, if you'd like to know what it means to be and become a Christian, you can click Faith and it will take you through a course where you can learn just that. Take care, my friends.